This is really where my life started at 14. So that's 50 years ago. Holy macaroni. They say TikTok is really a great place for keeping it real. So let's give it a try, shall we? This is about teenage trauma. So last night I had this flash, seemingly out of nowhere, watching a comic who was talking about a childhood issue. And so here's mine. So this is really where my life started at 14. So that's 50 years ago. Holy macaroni. So at 14, I got up in the morning to head to the last few days of 8th grade. So it's 1975. And so I come into the main room, the kitchen and family dining room, and my mother is at the kitchen table, and I'm grabbing something that I'm going to take to school, and my mother very gently, very meaningfully says, "My son, I have something I need to tell you. I'm going to divorce your father, and we're going to sell the house." And that's all I recall her saying. In my brain, I was having like teenage issues. And when I heard that, I thought, oh, good. Whoop, get me out of this environment. I don't have to solve any of my school issues. This will be done. We're out of here. And then the next second, when I was at the street level to get onto the bus to go to school, I became clearly aware of time. I got on the bus quietly and sat down, and it was just a short ride to the school, thinking to myself, this is the last time I will be on this bus with these people that I have been on this bus with for a number of years. It's over. And time became measurable to me for the first moment. So then what is strange to me is I think that night or the next night when I was going to bed, I wondered where my father was. Like, where's my dad? My dad would typically, most often at night, he would work gigs. My father did, not only was he a business person, but he was a musician, and he would do gigs at night. So it wasn't uncommon for my father to come home at 2 in the morning or something. But I always knew my dad came home. And so I went, where's my dad? And the little boy just couldn't wrap his brain around where my father was. Like, he can't be in a hotel. What's my father going to do in a hotel room? He has no means to be in a hotel room. He's not spending the night at her friends. They don't do sleepovers. He's a dad. He's a grown-up. Where is my dad? At that moment, I don't have any memory after that. After that, there's no memory of packing. There's no memory of saying goodbye. Zip, zero memory until my memory restores when we pull up to the street where my mother had bought a condominium. And I recall thinking, oh, this is our new home. And, you know, condos, they have pools and tennis courts. Tennis court? Anyway, basketball court. Excuse me. God forbid there have been a tennis court. A basketball court, for which I do not play, but a pool. And I was like registering the value of this new environment. Oh, look at it. It's a mini house. I had no idea what condos were at the time. I only knew what a house was. And I thought, oh, look, it's a small house, 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Okay. And it has a pool, and I could get a basketball, pretend I play basketball. Anyways, that's where the memory begins. Now, the kind of traumatic condition for me, so this is just my real life, was here I'm 14, about to be 15 that summer. In September, I'm going to be 15 years of age. And suddenly, the life that I knew, the carpet was out from under me. It was me and my mom and one of my sisters of the 4. The other 3 had gotten their first apartments and boyfriends, and so they took flight. The only one that was affected dramatically by this divorce was me, the only son, because it was right before high school. And the high schools became 4 high schools. With my mom at the new place was not attractive, not a good scene for a guy like me. And so I moved with my father. Not a good scene. It was fun at first, him and his new wife partying, having a good time. Not a good scene. And then coming back to my mom's. So 4 high schools can really screw up a guy. But in that time became the trauma of survival. How can I survive at a level that is reasonable? And how do I do it? And that is where the beauty of who I am today is resonating with. That if I had just had the conventional life, because there's a substantial mental growth, becoming your own. My perception is that I'm not a psychiatrist. I don't have degrees of any sort, but through my observation, children really become the first stage of adult of identifying who they are and their leadership and many other aspects of what they will be for their adult life are captured in the 4 years of high school, where I went from high school to high school to high school to high school and fought for my education, fought to go to school and lost. So, anyways, the point of this is that the greatness can come at a greatness. The wonderful life that I get to enjoy today is rooted in having the carpet pulled out from under. But the bummer is the survival mode that can happen to a lot of us. This hyperactive thinking of how much can I get done? How valuable is what I'm doing, and can I do 3 things at one time to maximize? And this isn't just for children who had traumatic, like, bump in the road. This is for a lot of people who had pleasant childhood, up to 18. Let's just say that's the end of childhood, 18. After that, it's up to parents and children to make their decision. But even with this day and age, how are you surviving, or are you thriving? And so it's a good time to take a look about who you are, where you came from, meet that dark. I met that dark boy last night, and boy, was he hurt. I don't remember being bummed out or angry or sad. I was mostly confused about what are the rules. How do I get a license? How do I get a car? I need to get a job. I need to help my mom pay for a water heater. My father's not paying. How do I get to school? What if you don't like the school? What if the school's not a fit for you? Back in those days, you didn't have a choice. And then I even saved my money. And then my mother co-signed for me to buy a 1965 Mustang. So now I had a car. Did I have a license? I didn't have a license yet. I didn't have a license until I was 17, and I paid Sears. All the kids that I grew up with got driving school, driver's ed. Since I was bouncing, I paid Sears to get my license. So I got my license, got a job. They got me fired from my job, my school did, because I didn't have a permit. I lied about my age. I said I was 18, I was 15. I think they knew that they liked me and I did a good job. And so I had to get over being fired. I had to learn how to deal with paying for my car, getting insurance. Did I have insurance? You didn't need it in those days, but I got insurance. So there's many things that can happen to somebody who becomes an advisor. By 21 years of age, I was a professional advisor. Professional means people paid me to sit and talk. At 21 years old, a bit bizarre, right? But how many other people we all have a signature to our dharma, to our life, to our mission. So you can fall into yours or you can develop it, but you have to do your best to have respect for the conditions that you were in. You didn't create them. Some of them were created around you and you had to deal with it, like being a gymnast in life, knowing when to flip, when to sit down, when to tumble. And when you do that, you learn to have resilience and you learn to have faith and belief in yourself and in the wonderful people that you surround yourself with. And that will build you a life of grandeur, good fortune, and love. I wish you the best of luck. Ciao.